He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatapate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Jaitam Surato Pangor Mama Malavate Vigati Matsarvasaparam Bojo Radha Madanamo Hano Divavendra Kalpadvado Sivaratna Garasim Masanasto Srimad Radha Shila Govinda Deva Prestalibi Sarasmarani Shimam Rasarasaram Bivam Sevadadada Stita Karsan Vano Sanai Gopir Gopinata Sistunaha Tattaganjana Gaudangi Radhe Vrindavaneshari Prishabano Sade Devi Pranamami Haripriye Manchakalpa Tarubhascha Kripa Sindhu Bhyahevacha Paditanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Nama Eva Kevalam Kolam Nastiva Gatyam Maduram Madurebhyo Mangalebhyo Mangalam Pavanam Pavanebhyo Hare Nama Eva Kevalam Iti sadasakam nam kali kalma sanasanam nattara partapaya sarva vedeshu dishyati Jayate nama nanda rupam murare viramitane jadar madhyana pujariyatam kattamapi sakrijatam muktinam praninam yad paramamritam ekanam jivanam bhushanam me Madaram etam mangala mangalanam sakala nigamavali satfaram sitcharupam prigamaram Krishna nama Madaram etam mangala mangalanam sakala nigamavali satfaram sitcharupam sakridatam parigitam harara brigavara naramatram Krishna nama Hare Krishna. So we are reading from Nectar of Devotion, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Pashila. Srila Rupa Goswami. With not translated by His Holiness Panuswami, disciple of Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, with commentary of Jiva Goswami and Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. So first part, Eastern section. Second wave, Sarana Bhakti. So describing different limbs of devotional service. So definition was given of the youngest of devotional service. In Hari Bhakti Vilas, innumerable angas of bhakti are mentioned. So, but then Rupa Goswami is explaining that is listing those which are most important according to his judgment. And so the learned sages explain an anga of bhakti as a complex of devotional actions with internal divisions, or only one action of bhakti which does not have clearly defined differences within it. So, a complex action is archana, as mentioned. Because in archana, different services are there: waking up the deities, offering bhoga, doing artik, bathing the deities, dressing the deities. So that is an example of complex of action. So. And only one action means so without clear internal division, so that is taking shelter of the spiritual master, Guru Padashray, the feet of the spiritual master, or standing when a deity procession comes. So if one is approaching the spiritual master, so that is one action, but then it is not specific what will happen next. One will offer obeisances, and then maybe one may then ask a question, or the spiritual master may say something, so it is not clear. Or procession is there of the deities, then one will offer obeisances again, also will fold his hands, and then one may pray to the deities, but it may not be clear exactly how it will proceed further. So whereas in Achan, so it is clear how to offer the bhoga, how to do artik, how to do the abhishek, and how to dress the deities. Of course, then here the consciousness also plays an important role. So what some description is giving here of the characteristic of the limbs of devotional service. So now the different limbs are explained. First was Guru Padashray, taking shelter of the lotus feet of the spiritual master, then taking initiation, accepting instructions, and then Vrishambena Guru Seva, serving the spiritual master with respect, but at the same time Vrishambena, there's some intimacy there, and that is then trying to follow the mood of the spiritual master. And then Sadhu Vatman Vatanam, so following the path laid down by the acharyas, the sadhus. So which is usually of course referring to the acharyas in our sampradaya. Text number 75. Saddama pricha bhogadityaga krishnasya hetave nivaso dvarkadocha gangadera api sanidhau. So inquiry about the real duties of life, renunciation of enjoyment to gain Krishna's mercy, residing in Dwarka or other holy places, or near the Ganges. Jiva Goswami's commentary. So, renouncing for the purpose of Krishna means renouncing for Krishna, to gain his mercy in order to attain him. So, renouncement bhoga adityag. So one should renounce enjoyment in this material world. Krishnasya hetave. So, for the purpose of Krishna. So then it is applied, so to gain his mercy. So one is, that means one is then surrendering to Krishna, one is serving Krishna. And then so we may be able to get his mercy. And ultimately then to attain him. So Krishna is not so easily attained, but one has to be very sincere and serious in one's performance of devotional service. And then, so by our sincerity, then we will be blessed, and then we can advance more and more. And then we get more mercy, then we can advance more. And then ultimately the complete mercy is there. When one becomes purified in consciousness, and then one will attain Krishna, means one will realize his transcendental form, Krishna Sakshatkar, direct experience of Krishna self. And that implies then also realizing our transcendental nature and our relationship. So at the beginning, so we have some understanding. You need to come here. So some understanding is there, but then, yeah. Ask him how much. Yeah, let him come here and bring it here. So in the beginning we may not be able to. अच्छा किलेंगी 5 लीटर अच्छा ठीक है डाल दे देंगे ऑफिस में पैसे ठीक है so by Krishna's mercy, so we may understand. Already we understand in the beginning that is the Supreme Lord, and that we are not this body, we are eternal servants of Him. And then based on this, then we engage in devotional service. But then the full realization may not be there of Krishna's Swarup and our Swarup. And one may not be able to become completely detached from attachment or from sense gratification, and so therefore the full realization is not there in the beginning, naturally, so it will take time. So hetu is put in the dative case to express that the action is for someone else, relating to a different person, Krishna. Hetu is put into the possessive case to express obtaining something for oneself. So here, so this is in Haitave, that is dative case, so referring to Krishna. And here is, and if it is for oneself, so then he's mentioning here Jiva Goswami, and thus he lives there for the purpose of getting food for himself. Anasya heto vasati. However, in the present verse, the dative case indicates that the renunciation is for Krishna's sake, for pleasing him. So, one can translate the phrase Krishna Chahetava as a renunciation of enjoyment for pleasing Krishna, to get his mercy in order to attain him. The word adi in the phrase bhogadi tyaga means renunciation of enjoyment and desires for sons, wealth and followers as well. Bhoga adi tyag. So bhoga means enjoyment, adi means and so on. So desires here for sons, wealth and so on. So tyag, so that should be renounced. So, but sometimes it may be done for one's own pleasure, but here it is indicated or mentioned clearly, Krishnasya hetave, it should be for Krishna's pleasure. Actually, whatever we're doing should be for Krishna's pleasure. Yad karoshi, yad yashnasi, yad johosi tadasi, yad tapasesi kantit, yad tatkush ramad arpanam. So whatever you do, Krishna is telling Arjuna. So whatever you eat or give away, whatever austerities you may perform, so that should be offered unto me. So that is for Krishna's pleasure, and then we will gain his mercy, and then when we get his mercy, then we can advance and we may attain perfection. Residing in Dwarka Adao, here, so, or other holy places, Adao, so Adi or Adao is then plural, and other holy places. Or Gangader Api Sanido, or Sanidhi means near to, close to, near the Ganges. So near a holy river. So usually, or previously and especially, the saintly persons, they try to stay in a holy place. Of course, even nowadays, mostly saintly places, saintly people, they will try to stay in a holy place, and even preferably near a river. So previously there was no electricity, and so one was more dependent on nature. And so therefore one would stay near to a river also. One can easily take bath in the morning. One can get water easily, which is important for even the service of the Lord. For cooking, we need water. And usually previously the rivers were not so polluted as nowadays. So the environment was more pure, and everyone was more living close to nature, and so in this way, being in harmony with nature, it was relatively easier to perform devotional service. So that is the mode of goodness. In the mode of goodness, it is easier to advance in spiritual life. Nowadays everything is so fast and actually very much artificial. But then people, they become attached to the comforts and they think it is superior than simple living. But as Prabhupada used to say, simple living, high thinking. But now so many facilities are created. And then, so of course, comfort is there also. And still, there's a possibility of practicing Krishna consciousness or God consciousness, practicing a spiritual life. But then drawbacks are there also. If all the facilities are there, then one becomes attached to facilities. But then, because that's a material nature, a material world, and the difficulties will be there. Electricity is coming and going, and then one gets a generator because electricity is not there, or an inverter. But then sometimes the generator breaks down, or the inverter is not working. And then that will cause some difficulty because one is already accustomed to electricity and the comfort. So then if that is not there, then one will be somewhat disturbed. Did you get electrician? Still chanting Gayatri? Two, chanting two Gayatri. And of course, so Dwarka is mentioned because Krishna stayed there also. Dwarkadish Krishna stays in Dwarka, which is very opulent. And of course, opulence was there, and so many facilities were there, palaces are there of the queens of Krishna. And it was very nicely organized actually, Dwarka, and very clean. Because Krishna is in the center. And if Krishna is in the center, then everything becomes perfect. And when Krishna is present, and so although in the material world Krishna is always transcendental, at the same time being in this material world, so Krishna is transcendental, but the living entities in this material world, they are yet to become transcendental. But his eternal associates are there, and they are also, of course, transcendental. And at the same time, the covering of the holy Dharma is there. And the three modes of nature are there. not touching the holy dham, but covering the holy dham. And those who are not yet advanced, so they are situated under the most material nature. And they may be affected by modes of material nature. They will be affected by modes of material nature. But by performing devotional service, slowly but surely one can transcend the modes of material nature. So, from the ordinary point of view, so Krishna is very much respected by majority of people, and understanding him to be the king of Dwarka, and everything is going on quite smoothly and nicely. Whereas in Braj, Krishna's childhood pastimes are there. Of course, those who are highly elevated and learned, they will understand that that form of Krishna is ultimately the original form, and the most complete and perfect form. But ordinary persons, they may not immediately understand. And they may first appreciate the opulence and the Sara Aishwarya Purna Bhagavan, so the complete manifestation of the Lord in regards to their understanding that the Lord is omnipotent, is most opulent, most rich, learned, powerful, so that maybe in the beginning that is more appreciated as far as the common man. Who, having obtained some mercy, can appreciate then the Lord and his opulences. And many actually attracted to that form, opulent form of the Lord. So, in the beginning also, the devotees who accept Krishna in Braj as the Supreme Lord, but in the beginning also they have to have the understanding that is the Supreme Lord. And only when they are more advanced, then they may be able to approach him with spontaneous love. So Dwarka Adi, so Dwarka and then other holy places. For us, most important holy places are actually Vrindavan, Braj, and then Mayapur, Navadvip, where Mahaprabhu performed his pastimes. And then because Mahaprabhu performed his pastimes in Puri also, that is also very much appreciated in our Sampradaya. And because that form of Krishna, Jagannath, is actually Dwarkadesh, but Dwarkadesh being absorbed in the remembrance of his pastimes in Braj, Mahabhav Prakash. So, feeling so much ecstasy in regards to remembering the pastimes of himself in Braj. So, and then Mahaprabhu also was experiencing the feelings of separation in Jagannath Puri. Seeing Jagannath, Dwarkadesh also, but even more seeing, searching for Krishna in Braj. So therefore even in Jagannath Puri mostly he was seeing Krishna. Even seeing Jagannath, but then he was seeing Krishna playing the flute. Although Jagannath, he doesn't have a flute. Because in Dwarka he doesn't have the flute. So only when he's feeling so much separation, of Braj. So then, actually, the Dwarkavasis arranged the place. Navaviri Davan, with the help of the architect of the demigods, Vishwakarma. And he made a replica of Vrindavan. And then he made forms of Krishna's associates, Nanda, Baba, Yashoda. And so then they used to bring Krishna sometimes when he was feeling separation to that place. And then he gave him also a flute in his hand and a peacock feather. So this separation may be reduced. So that is the only time, otherwise he was not holding a flute or not wearing a peacock feather. So Krishna's pastimes are most wonderful. Although Krishna is the all-powerful Supreme Lord, but in the pastime, so sometimes he becomes, or many times he's overwhelmed by transcendental emotions. And then, although he's always all-knowing, Sarvagya, but sometimes he becomes transcendently bewildered, Mugdha. So that is seen also in Braj, where he forgets that he's the Supreme Lord, but also so in Dwarka sometimes, especially when he remembers the pastimes in Braj. And so in regards to the holy rivers, again also here. So Ganga is usually most respected by saintly persons since bygone ages. Ganges is practically glorified as the most of the holy rivers. Of course, sometimes there's some transcendental dispute. Some say Ganges is most superior, and then some say no, Yamuna Deva is more superior. But again, here, so in ordinary understanding, so Ganges is supposed to be, or understood to be, the most celebrated holy river. So one time there was a debate also amongst some persons in Braj, or even at that time, so the ruler, so it was Akbar, so he was staying in Agra, and so he had his advisors, who were mostly Brahmanas actually, Pandits. So he was very intelligent, although he was a Muslim, but he respected the Vedic culture, the Indian culture, and very intelligently, therefore, being here in India, he had advisors who were from Brahmana families, intelligent persons. Of course, he had also his Muslim advisors. And so some of the advisors, they were very well known and respected. So one time there was some kind of transcendental dispute in regards to that topic of the holy rivers. So some were saying that Ganges is most important holy river, most celebrated holy river. And then others were saying, the Pandits, no, Jamuna Devi is superior. And they couldn't settle the matter. So at that time, Jiva Goswami was present here. So after Rupa and Sanatan had disappeared from this world, and so they thought, let us just invite him. So they also suggested to Akbar, and he said, yes, fine, you can call him here. So Jiva Goswami, he was asked to come. Message was sent, and he said, all right, I will come, but I will only stay a little while. So I will come in the morning, and the evening I will return to Braj. So because he didn't want to leave Braj and stay anywhere else. Even nowadays we can see many devotees are there, and so they also have taken a vow of just staying in Braj. So even we have two pujaris from Orissa. Sometimes they go to Orissa. They leave early morning to take darshan of Jagannath. Of course, now with the plane you can go there very fast. They go before Mangalatik, catch the earliest plane, go and take darshan of Jagannath, and then go back at night time. Panchatattva and Hari Vijay. Yeah, a few times. Jai Jagannath. Hari Vijay, he used to go. Yeah. But Agra is almost in Braj, and usually he used to also go. He used to go to Agra, but he used to come back in the evening, going, after his seva, and then going to Agra, doing some preaching, and then nighttime coming back, like that. So Jiva Goswami, of course, at that time, no cars, no airplane. So it was taking a little more time to go to Agra, but so he went there and he glorified Ganga Devi with selected verses from the scriptures and then with his own words glorifying Ganga Devi as the greatest of all rivers. And all the Pandits of Ganga Devi, they were very happy. Okay, they had defeated the worshippers of Yamuna Devi. But then after that he glorified Yamuna Devi also with selected verses, and in his own words glorifying Yamuna Devi. And then the Pandits of Yamuna Devi were happy. But then at the end also he concluded and he said that both of them, Ganga and Yamuna Devi, are the most exalted of all rivers, and not making any preference for either one. And then ultimately they also understood there's no need of fighting for saying who is superior. And we can see that Ganga Devi is very much glorified, and even it is mentioned that so she's there in the spiritual realm in Shetadip Navadvip, where Mahaprabhu performs his pastimes, and even she's going through Mayapur Navadvip to the ocean. And it is mentioned that the personality Ganga Devi is there, and she's actually Gopi also in Braj. And so Yamuna Devi, of course, is there, and she's considered to be an expansion of Vishaka Devi. And so just like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is not different from Radha and Krishna. So, and the holy abode of Shetadip Navadip is not different from Braj. Of course, then some difference is there. Krishna is one personality. The Supreme Lord and Mahaprabhu is also another personality and the Supreme Lord, but at the same time, so they are non-different and different. And Braj is non-different from Mayapur Navadip and different also. So Ganga and Yamuna Devi, they are both transcendental rivers of the two holy places. So the glory is also non-different, but so some difference is there in existence. But in the ordinary sense, for the mass of people, so then Dwarka may be more respected. Dwarkadish may be more respected than Krishna and Braj or Braj. Similarly, Ganga Devi may be more respected for the mass of people than Jamuna. So therefore here also they are mentioned. Yavahareshu sarveshu yavat artana anavartita harivasara sammano datri ashvatari gauravam. Accepting only what is necessary in dealing with the body. Vyavahareshu, so vyavahara in ordinary dealing. Yavad artha. So artha, so that artha, that is dharma, artha, kama, moksha. So in this world we have certain needs in order to maintain the body or in order to function in this world, to be happy in this world. So, but we should not try to accumulate too much. Only what is necessary. So that is a regulative principle mentioned here, or even in Hari Bhakti Vilas and other devotional scriptures. Also Chanakya Pandit has mentioned Matrivat Paradayareshu Paradravishu Lostavat Atmabhuta Sarvabhuteshu what is it? Yeah, Panditaha. So Pandit who is a Pandit. So one who is respecting all mothers, all ladies, Darishu, all women as just like a mother. Of course, if a young girl is there, we may not address as mother, but as a daughter. Or somebody of the same age we may respect as a sister. So that is the understanding. Paradravi Shulostravat. So we have what belongs to us and anything else which may be there, so that we should Paradravi Shulostravat. So other things we should just see just like a piece of stone. And what is the use of a stone? Unless it is a Shila, Govardhan Shila, Shaligram, then we have the greatest respect, but otherwise a stone is a stone. It is not valuable for us. And we should treat others as we would like to be treated. So we want to be always, of course, be dealt with nicely, so we should deal with others nicely. Yeah, Pandita Savar, is it? Last line. So that is how a Pandit is seeing. So whatever comes, so to say, almost on its own accord. So what is easily available for maintaining our body, that we accept. That is according to our karma also. We're meant to receive a certain amount of wealth, of items for our living. So, and then so in worldly dealings we have to endeavor to be properly situated, but there should not be any over-endeavor. And better to live simple, but as a Prabhupada used to say, simple living, high thinking. Harivasar Sammanno. Harivasar, so that refers to Ekadashi Vrat. Another name for Ekadashi is Harivasar. Specifically in this day, so Lord Hari is supposed to be remembered, is supposed to be respected. Krishna is all pervading and is situated everywhere at any time. And even we can see, so the different names are there of the different months. Of course, according to Vedic culture, so for example we have Chaitra Mas, Vaishak Mas, Jesh Mas, Ashar Mas, Shravan Mas, and so on. Bhadra Mas, Ashwin Mas, Kartik Mas, Mrigashirsha, Posh, Magh and Falgun Mas. So in Sanskrit, the 12 months are named in this way. But then the Acharyas in our Sampradaya especially, they have given names of the Lord. Like springtime is Madhav Mas, and then so different names are there: Trivikram, Madhusudan, Keshav, and Kartik Mas is Damodar Mas, and so on. So we can remember the Supreme Lord, and even the days of Krishna Paksha, Gaura Paksha, the bright fortnight, the dark fortnight, also name is given of the Lord, and even every day. Every Tithi, there's a name of the Lord given. Like we have Pratipad, Tvitiya, Tritiya, the first, second, third, fourth, Ekadashi, the 11th. But there's a name given for all the Tithis, for each Tithi. That is mentioned in the Panchika of the Gaudiya Vaishnavas. So we may remember Krishna always. But then specifically it is mentioned according to scriptures. Ekadashi is known as Harivasar. And on that day, so Krishna is, of course, to be respected more. And so when we respect him more, he is more present. Very simple. So the arrangements are there, like observing the festivals. So we are more absorbed in Krishna, like Krishna's appearance. Krishna is ever existing. And he has no birth and he's not growing old. No death is there, but there's an appearance and disappearance in this world. So that is there also for us to be absorbed in him. And so therefore we observe this Vrat, Harivasar. And later on also in the 64 limbs it is mentioned that we should observe the different festivals of the Lord's appearance and so on, that is specifically mentioned. And Purushottam Mas, Urja Vrata, Urja. So, Urjeshwari Srimati Radharani, the effulgence of the strength of Krishna, the internal potency, Srimati Radharani, is there. And taking shelter of her, we can approach Krishna. So that should be observed. But here specifically, Harivasa Samman, so means Samman, giving respect. So it means we should observe Ekadashi Vrat. Means on that day we should chant more, we should study more, we should do the seva nicely. And therefore we can see also some special seva may be offered on Ekadashi. And many times you can see householders, so they may not be able to dress the deities every day or do the bathing. But then they will do every Ekadashi, of course, which is a long time, 2 weeks. Better to do more regularly. And in temple we do every day. But some they are not able to, but then they will do an Ekadashi, Harivasar. And then by serving the Lord, then there's a reciprocation. And those who are doing that seva, they can experience. So when we do the abhishek, the dressing, then there's a reciprocation, then we'll feel so much happiness there. And we can remember then the deities better. And we can see how they are beautiful. If the seva is not there, very little, then there's little reciprocation. Practical experience can be there for those who are serving. So, and the vrat, so on that day we don't take any grains. So we abstain from certain, even sometimes vegetables, and no pulses, no dal, and so on. Some austerity is there. And usually one will eat less, one will drink less, one will sleep less. So reduce the bodily necessities and increase the spiritual activities. But more important is to increase the spiritual activities rather than the austerity. But actually the austerity will help so that we may increase our spiritual activities. But if only simply trying to be too austere, then one may not be able to increase one's spiritual activities. Sometimes we can see somebody trying to do nirjal, especially when it's hot, not drinking and not eating anything, but then they become weak and exhausted, and they cannot serve, they cannot chant much. Rather than to take something little and chant more and serve more. So, but the principle is to eat and drink less as far as possible and sleep less. And do more spiritual activities. Dhatri, Ashwat, Adi, Gauravam. So different trees are there. Amalaki, Ashwata trees. Giving respect. Of course we respect Tulsi very much. She's very dear to Krishna, Krishna Priya. And every day we offer Tulsi leaf, and so therefore we respect her so much, we worship her. But other trees are there also, which are considered auspicious. Amalaki, Ashwat, that's the banyan tree, peepal tree, and so on, banana tree, mango tree. So these are considered auspicious. So they give, of course, the mango trees, nice fruit is there, or banana. But the leaves then are also used for decorating when there's a ceremony. And when we do a puja and we have or a yagya, the kalash, we put the mango leaves inside. Or from the ashok tree, also auspicious tree. We use the banana trees for decoration. We use the banana leaves as plate. So these are auspicious. And they should be respected. So, but mainly we offer our respect to Tulsi Devi. But those who are knowledgeable, then they will appreciate these other trees, which are auspicious. There was one Prabhupada disciple who used to do parikrama of Vrindavan, and he had a water bottle, and he used to give water, or spray bottle, spray the trees, respecting all the trees. Kalpa Vriksha, especially in Braj, they are wish-fulfilling trees. Some trees are there which are not considered so auspicious, beautiful. Cactus, you know cactus? So with many thorns.
Yes.
So not much use. And you touch it. Yeah, some of them have flowers, yeah. Yeah. But they're not usually accepted as auspicious. Those who have many thorns. Of course, even the bael tree, they have big thorns also. And we use the bael fruit, and we make nice juice, and we offer to Krishna.
This Dhatura, which we offer to Lord Shiva.
Yeah. Ah, well, that is for Lord Shiva, but we don't offer to Krishna usually. That some flowers are there. But whatever Krishna likes, that we offer to him. The Bela, Rajnigandha, Champa, Kadamba flower. Because it is, the big one is the two Kadamba trees with different flowers. One has bigger flowers and it is golden brown. So, other ones are small, greenish color.
They're not very fragrant.
No,
Big ones are
no, the big ones, they are beautiful,
small,
but they are not so fragrant. But the small one are simple looking, but they're fragrant. Yeah, Bakul, small flowers, teeny flowers, but very fragrant. Parijata, Rajnigandha, or Gandharaj. We had one here, but it's gone.
Pushparaj.
So different flowers are there.
You don't like rose
What?
mogra? You don't like rose mogra?
Rose mogra is also fragrant, is also nice, yeah.
But he likes.
Krishna likes, yeah. So this, text 77. Eshamatra dash anganam bhavet prarambha rupata. Preliminary bhakti should consist of these 10 angas. So these are the first 10 angas, limbs of devotional service. So most important, of course, is Guru Padashray, taking shelter of the spiritual master. And then he may explain what to do and what not to do. What is more important, what is less important. Like Mukhya Anga and Gona Anga, there are different limbs are there. Some are Mukhya, they are more important. And then others are Gona, they are secondary.
Sorry to do this, sorry. But Srimati Radharani, what does Srimati Radharani like to have in flowers?
What she likes to have in flowers?
What she desires?
Radharani likes all the flowers which Krishna likes. And amongst the trees, she likes the tamal tree, because the tamal is darkish in complexion, so she's reminded of Krishna. So text 78 till 82. Sangat tyaga vidurena bhagavad vimuktaya janai shishyadi ananam banditvam maharambadi anudyama bahu granta kalabhyasa vyakyavada vivajanam vyavaharepi akarpanyam shokadyavasavartita anyadevam avagyacha bhutanudvega dayita seva nama paradhanam udbhava bhavakarita Krishna tad bhakta vidvesha vinindadya sahishnuta vyatere kadayamisham dasanam sad anustitihi. So these are more limbs. So the first 10 limbs which are explained, they have to be accepted and followed. Now these 10 limbs which are there, so they should be observed by avoidance. There's vidhi and nished. Vidhi which we should do, nished which we should not do. So these 10 we should not do. Giving up the association of those opposed to the Lord. If somebody is not serving the Lord, then we should not try to have his company, because that will be detrimental. As also Rupa Goswami has explained, Sangat Tyagat. So materialistic people should be avoided. Tyaga should be renounced. Of course, you have to be practical, see time, place, and circumstances. And so sometimes family members, they may not be so favorable, but we should try to remain somewhat in a healthy relationship, because so we have to take care of our devotional service, but then we should also try to help others, and we are trying to help so many people, what to speak of our relatives. So therefore we should try to have a relationship with them, maintain a relationship. In the beginning, many devotees in our movement, so they left their homes, they joined Prabhupada's movement, and then because their family members were not so favorable, that they didn't want to have anything to do with them, which is actually not very intelligent, because we are trying to help so many people, then we are distributing books to people who don't know anything, we're giving prasadam to those who do not anything, who are not engaged in devotional service. And what to speak of family members should be our first concern, because they helped us, especially our parents, so we try to help them also. So therefore, at least we should try to have as much as possible a healthy relationship, and then we can give them prasadam. Or if we are nice, although we may not be able to convince them of the philosophy, but we can be nice, then they will have a nice impression of us. And we give them prasad, and they will also become more inclined, and then they will become devotees, because that is also mentioned, and Krishna is saying that my devotees, family members, they will be helped also. So, but otherwise, if we see people who are materialistic, so we should just try to stay away from them. Similarly, even a materialistic devotees, so we try to avoid. Of course, again, there we have to be respectful to all devotees, to everyone. But better to be in the association of those who are more spiritually inclined, more advanced. Not being attached to making disciples. So sometimes, so the spiritual master usually is a pure devotee, and maybe eternal associate of the Lord. But then, actually, those who take shelter of the spiritual master, for example, those from two kinds of spiritual masters also. Those who are eternal associates of the Lord, they come to deliver the conditioned souls, and then those who were conditioned before, but in the association of the pure devotees, they can also become pure devotees. But they may not be perfect yet. But still, when there's a mature understanding and purity is there, even though completely liberated, but then they may also still accept disciples and help the disciples. Prabhupada has explained three kinds of spiritual master. One who is completely absorbed in the spiritual realm, he has both legs in the spiritual world. Means he's there with Krishna. At the same time he's present here also. So he has both legs there, he's there. He's liberated. And then Prabhupada is explaining one has one leg in the spiritual world and one leg here. Means he's already quite absorbed, advanced in spiritual understanding. So he has one leg in the spiritual world.
He's Nityanukta?
No, he's on he's almost Siddha, almost Sadhana Siddha.
Sadhana.
Yeah, so he has one leg there, he has realizations. But then still some connection may be there in this world. Because even the Sadhana Siddha, so he may be Uttam Vaishnava, but still some little impurity may be there. So there is one leg in the spiritual world and one leg here. And then the third type of spiritual master, he has both legs here and he's looking to the spiritual world. He can see the spiritual world a little bit, but he's not completely absorbed. So he can help less. He can still help, but maybe not so much as the others. So that Prabhupada has explained. So those who are Nityasiddha, they're not interested in making disciples. They're simply interested to serve Krishna and then to give the mercy to others. Devotees are coming or not, it doesn't make difference to them. And they're not after numbers. I should have many disciples. But then others who are not so advanced yet, or maybe have one leg or they have both legs here and they're seeing something, they may act as spiritual master, but then sometimes he may be there. Then they try to have many disciples to show I have many disciples. Sometimes competition may be there. One guru and another guru, and they want to have more disciples. So that we have seen also. So anyhow, so therefore it is mentioned here, one should not accept too many disciples. Because otherwise, if one is not yet highly advanced, because then he has to absorb the consciousness of the disciples, and if he is not so advanced and the consciousness of the disciple is not pure yet, then he may be affected. And that may cause some difficulty for him in his becoming perfect. Not being enthusiastic for huge undertakings. So, of course, we should try to increase the preaching, we should try to make new temples that may be there, but at the same time one should not be too enthusiastic or over-enthusiastic for making big projects. And then again, so it is very subtle, we may do, but at the same time, sometimes then it may be also for name, fame and glory.
Sometimes it also affects on the sadhana.
Yeah. If one is trying to make a huge project and then so many things to think about, to do, then the sadhana may be affected. Avoiding the study of useless books in order to earn a living or to defeat others in useless arguments.
Just to acquire the knowledge.
Yes, so we should study the scriptures, but then we should not try to. So basically, then we should study the books of our spiritual master, our acharyas, and not to be too much eager to read other books which may not be in our sampradaya. But you have to see time, place, and circumstances. So even Prabhupada has mentioned that if one does not know the 6 philosophies of the 6 philosophers, Vedavyas, Jaimini, Patanjali, Kapildev, Gautam, and Kanada. So these are the 6 philosophers, and they presented their philosophies. So, which we don't really have to know. At the same time, the acharya or the preacher, and so who has to sometimes speak also, and he has to be very learned. So he may read some of these books in order to have an understanding of their philosophy. So he may also then explain to his devotees what should be studied, and to explain to them what is their philosophy. So just so that they may be fixed in their understanding and they may not be diverted or influenced by others. So sometimes you can see some devotees who are not fixed, and they will go somewhere else, and they hear something and they may be deviated. So so we have to be a little careful. Not feeling miserable in any material circumstances. So material circumstances are there in the material world. Many difficulties are there. But we should not become sad because of that, or discouraged or miserable as mentioned here. But we have to tolerate the modes of material nature, the adibautik, adidaivik, adhyatmic klesh, miseries caused by our own body and mind, by others, by natural catastrophes. So we have to be fixed and equiposed and tolerant, and so matras pasastu kaunteya situshna sukadugadaha agamape nityastam stidikshasya bharata. So one should be fixed and sober, and not to be disturbed by happiness and distress of this world, which are coming like the different seasons. Not being subject to lamentation or other extreme emotions. So sometimes you can see some persons or devotees also, they're always lamenting this problem, that problem. Or they become too emotional. This person told me this, and then one becomes very emotional. So we have to try to control the emotions. And the emotions will be directed towards Krishna, a loving Krishna. And then the emotion can be, the emotional exchange should be there with Krishna, and not in regards to things of this material world. Not showing disrespect to devatas. So that also sometimes we know that we should worship Krishna only basically, and we don't worship the demigods. At the same time, we should not disrespect them. And we have seen many times devotees, they have the misunderstanding. They have heard that we should worship Krishna only and not the demigods. other Lord Shiva or Durga Devi and so on, and then they become disrespectful, which is actually then detrimental because they are great personalities. So they should be respected. But our main love should be directed towards Krishna, our worship should be to Krishna. But we should respect Shiva, Durga Devi, Brahma, and so on. Not giving disturbance to other living beings. So we should be very sensitive, and especially with the body or with our words, we should not give any disturbance to others. So we should be respectful, sensitive, kind, merciful, as much as possible. Not committing of seva parad or nama parad. So as explained last time, 10 offenses are there against the holy name we have to avoid. 10 dhamma parad are there. Seva parad are there, so 64 are listed, main offenses in regards to serving the Lord. And usually they are divided in 4 categories. First, offenses due to impurity of body, mind, and words. So if one is not clean, for example, one goes to the bathroom, or even so then the clothes are not considered to be pure, and one cannot worship the deities on the altar. So one has to take bath, one has to put on clean clothes, and then one can worship the Lord. And even while worshipping the Lord, so one should see that one should not pass belch or pass gas. So physical purity must be there, and one should chant mantras and offer praise to the Lord, and but one should not be offensive towards others. And also even with the consciousness, positive, respectful, trying to think how to improve the seva and avoid having impure thoughts for sense gratification or being critical towards others. So that has to be avoided. And then endeavor. So one has to endeavor to do the seva nicely, offer nice foodstuffs, observe the festival nicely. So that is important. Not tolerating, so yes. So offenses due to lack of endeavor, offenses due to lack of respect or lack of faith. So we should have full faith in Krishna and full respect as much as we can. Of course, if one is not pure, then impurities are there, and because of that, sometimes lack of respect, lack of faith may be there, lack of purity, lack of endeavor. But then we have to beg forgiveness from the Lord and try to rectify ourselves and try to purify our existence, our consciousness, so we can avoid that. Not tolerating the criticism of Krishna and his devotees by those who hate them. This 10 angas should be observed by avoidance. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is commenting. There will certainly be seva parad and nama parad for the person performing sadhana bhakti. However, after committing them, the person should be careful to avoid those offenses in the future. So if one is conditioned, there's practically almost unavoidable. Therefore, he's writing, there will certainly be seva parad or nama parad. But therefore, what we have to do? So after the seva, we chant the mantras for obtaining forgiveness for offenses. Mantra hinam, kriya hinam, bhakti hinam, janadana, yat pujidam maireva paripodam tadastume. So that we chant. My dear Lord Janardhan, please accept whatever I offered, although it is not done properly. Mantra hinam, without properly chanting the mantras. Kriya hinam, not performing the activity nicely. Bhakti, no bhakti is there. And then aparada sasani kriyam tyahani samaya dasaham maitamam matvaksama samrusurnaha. So thousands of offenses are committed by me day and night. So in a conditioned state it is practically unavoidable. But therefore we beg forgiveness from the Lord after every seva. Also in Hari Bhakti Vilas, Sanatana Goswami is saying every devotee at night time before taking rest he should beg forgiveness from the Lord. My dear Lord, if I offended you, I offended your holy names, I offended your holy place, your devotees, even any living being, kindly forgive me for this. So that should be done by everyone. All the sadhakas. Once one is more advanced than usually in purified consciousness, one will not commit any offense. But still, just to set the example, they will also beg forgiveness from the Lord. Okay. Any question? Sri Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu ki, Sri Rupa Goswami ki, Satyanandana Gaura Hari ki, Sri Radha Shama Sundar ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Go Premanande Hari Hari Bol.